Hey, what's up everybody? This is Coach Strace from the Main Gym TV. Today's Tuesday, September 26th. News has just broken that there have been 10 people arrested for fraud and corruption within the NCAA. We're going to start breaking that down, and then we're also going to be talking about how that can affect you and your career in the future. So, earlier today, ESPN, all of the sports coverage, has released the news that there have been 10 people arrested for fraud and corruption within the NCAA. 4 of those 10 people were NCAA coaches. 3 were people associated with professional managers and advisors. The other 3 were Adidas employees, including the global marketing director. The 4 coaches that were charged and arrested yesterday for this fraud and corruption was Chuck Person from Auburn. He's the assistant coach, or one of the assistant coaches. Emanuel Richardson from Arizona, another assistant. Tony Bland from USC, also an assistant. And then Lamont Evans from Oklahoma State, another assistant. 2 of those schools that were just mentioned, Auburn, Arizona, USC, and Oklahoma State, 2 of those are currently ranked within the top 10 for the 2017 preseason rankings. Those 2 schools are USC at number 10 and Arizona at number 4. Okay, so very large, successful basketball programs that have just been nailed with this indictment. To get into the case details, the FBI has been conducting an investigation since 2015. So for at least the past 2 years, people have known that this has been going on. That's no news to us. We've always known that there's been a dark side to the NCAA, especially within basketball. There's always been some skepticism on what's been going on within those basketball programs. Now, this was also an undercover investigation. I don't know any names, but from what I've been able to research today is that they had a former advisor for kind of going undercover, wiretapping, all of that. I'm not really going to touch on how they did it. That's not this channel. But for one reason or another, they had enough reason to go in there and investigate, plant somebody in there to really try to figure this thing out. Now, what they've found out so far is that there were actually kind of 2 schemes going on. Scheme number 1, there are professional managers and advisors. These are the people that players go to, players hire coming out of college to, to manage them, to advise them. These are the financial advisors. Those managers and advisors were paying NCAA coaches to use their influence to bring in blue chip recruits. Okay? Also, scheme number 2, Adidas managers and advisors were paying the families of the players to have them go to certain schools. So, there's a lot of money being tossed around, estimated in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But from what it seems like is that Adidas, I don't know how high it goes up in Adidas, but it at least goes to that global marketer whose focus is on basketball marketing for Adidas. It at least goes that high. And what's really the advantage for Adidas for doing this? Okay, their motive for paying all these people is they had these people going after blue chip recruits, the top players in the country coming out of high school. Most likely they're going to be one and dones. They're are going to be going to the NBA, okay, signing shoe deals, getting sponsorships, and that's exactly what Adidas wants a part of. It's not necessarily proven. I haven't seen any numbers on it. Then again, I haven't looked for them. But I'm willing to bet that if a player goes to an Adidas college for a year and then they go to the NBA, I'm pretty sure that they're most likely to pick Adidas as their sponsor. Okay, so really Adidas is making more money in the back end of these deals. Okay, when these players go to the NBA, that's their motive. They're making money on the back end. Okay, so here's a quote from ESPN. The investigation has revealed several instances in which coaches have exercised their influence by steering players and their families to retain particular advisors, not because of their merits of those advisors, but because the coaches were being bribed by the advisors to do so. Okay, so that more fits into the number one, where the advisors are paying coaches to be able to bring these players to certain schools. What's also come up today, nothing's proven about this statement, but there's another possible charge that can be made, another indictment with Louisville, okay, which is an Adidas school, and there was mention of a recruit that just kind of came out of nowhere. That comes from Mark Schlablock. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's an ESPN senior writer. Again, nothing's been proven. Okay, there were no arrests made regarding Louisville, but that's a possible one that the FBI can be investigating here soon. Louisville has stated that they're going to cooperate in any way that they can. Okay, and really just learning more about this, and I can't help but to think that all of this could have been avoided if players were paid. Honestly, the thing is, signing in the NCAA, you're honestly signing over some of your civil rights. Some of you watching this may remember, may not, but there were some Michigan athletes that went to go get tattoos, didn't have the money for it. So the tattoo artist told them, you know what, just sign this and I'll give you the tattoos. So the players signed it and they got tattoos, and it came down to it that they were actually in violation of the NCAA rules, their standards, because in a roundabout way it stated that you no longer own your name. You don't own the right to your name anymore by being an NCAA athlete. Okay, right when you sign that piece of paper, you are giving away some of your civil rights, which is very sad. But we all know that this has been going on for a long time. This isn't news to us. It's just now coming to light and being admitted by people that, yes, I was a part of this. And really that's why it's making all these headlines. But how do we fix this is really the big question here. How do we keep this from happening? And my answer would be to pay the players. Okay, I mean, they're going to these schools as athletes, talented athletes. They're being expected to play at almost a professional level. They have to be good to be there, and they're to be able to play at that level. You have to eat well. You have to sleep well, and these players don't have the food. They're playing basketball 5 hours a day. They're going to school or studying another 8 hours a day. They don't have time to work. They don't have the money to be able to eat well. Okay, really, that's my main reason. If you want them to perform that high, you have to feed them that high too. And honestly, I don't think that's ever going to happen. With this instance, with these coaches being indicted for fraud and corruption, it's pretty obvious that kind of everybody in the system is just money hungry, and they're not willing to give up their cut to be able to feed some kids, to be able to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. And really, my reasoning for thinking that paying the players is going to resolve this is that players won't be tempted to take these bribes. Yes, maybe some of them didn't know that it was against NCAA rules, the law, to be able to take this gift of sorts. And that really the thing is that the number one reason people break the law is their ignorance of the law. And which kind of leads me into my next point, is that for you guys as athletes, I see myself as not just a trainer but a mentor. I talk to athletes and I try to give them the best advice that I can on their decisions, on what they do with their basketball career, where they go to school, and really try to help them set up a plan on their future. My advice to you guys is never take anything, I don't care what it is, a new pair of shoes, cash, any sort of gift from anybody that's not immediate family. Okay? Really just start living by if it seems too good to be true, it is. So stay away from it completely. Don't get yourself involved with that. And knowing that the NCAA is a business, you guys being athletes, knowing that it's a business, they're not giving handouts. The NCAA is there to make money off of you. They're not going to give you a handout. They're trying to keep as much money as possible. So if there's a handout coming your way, most likely you're throwing away your career by taking that. Okay? Don't take any handouts, no gifts whatsoever. And honestly, as an athlete trying to make it to the NCAA, you don't want a handout. You're going to earn your way there. You're going to work to earn your way onto that roster, to earn your way onto the basketball floor. Okay? Taking a handout to make a team is not going to fulfill you. You're going to feel like you cheated your way there. And quite honestly, you did. So just know that you've dedicated yourself to fulfill your dreams. Don't throw it away because you made a mistake by taking a handout or a gift, by going against the NCAA regulations. Necessarily, I don't quite agree with it. I do believe NCAA athletes need help. They need to be given some stuff. But right now, it's the way it is. So learn how to protect yourself. You are number one, nobody else. It is your decision to take that cash or that gift, nobody else's. Okay, so make the right decision. It takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, but it only takes 3 seconds to ruin everything that you've ever worked for. It takes 3 seconds to make up your mind on whether you're going to go to that party, have that drink, take that cash, take those new pair of shoes. It only takes 3 seconds to say yes or no. Make the right decision. Don't ruin your career because of that. You've worked way too hard. Okay, there's going to be a lot more information coming out on this. We're going to be talking about it along the way. Most likely this is going to be a multiple part series. Okay, so for those coaches, Chuck Person, Emanuel Richardson, Tony Bland, and Lamont Evans, hopefully they're sitting in a jail cell right now, along with those other 10 people, the 3 professional managers and advisors, along with those 3 employees at Adidas. Most likely they won't be sitting there long, but hopefully they get what's coming to them. Those coaches will never be able to coach again. They've made their decisions. Okay, and they're paying for them right now. So let that happen, pay attention, and learn that lesson to protect yourself first and never take anything from anybody else. If I have missed any information, leave it in the comments down below. And like I said, we're going to be doing more. So if you give me any information, I'd love to be able to talk about it. And also the idea of paying players. If you guys have a different idea, if you guys agree or disagree, leave that down in the comments also. All right, so until next time, I will see you soon.